Everybody, it's Terry here. Welcome to the live talk. So today we are talking about finding the best hair system. Now, a little bit different from some of my other lives. I'm not getting into every single system here. I'm just kind of going over the basic types of systems just because we have so many systems to choose from. So it might be a little bit harder for some people to decide. So this is really for the beginners, people who really kind of are just diving into the hair system journey and maybe wanting to know the different kinds of hair systems we have out there and, you know, why you would pick one system versus another. So I'm going to just dive right in. Like always, guys, if you want to ask some questions, feel free to ask any questions. We will get to the questions later after I'm done kind of explaining everything, and then we can definitely go from there. So to start off, we're going to start off with some skin systems. So skin systems. Now, a skin system, we have various skin systems. They go from thicker to like 8 mils to a very thin skin to 4 mils. And this here is our 101V. Yeah, I think that's what yes, it's the 101V, sorry, or V-loop. So this one is a 6 mils, kind of in the middle, very durable. All a V-loop system. Our lovely, if you were watching our commercial just before I came on, that gentleman there was wearing this system here. So this is the system that he was wearing in that video. So why would you want a skin-based system? There are various reasons. I mean, really when it comes down to it, a lot of systems are about preference, but then there are other specific things you would like with a system. Say for instance, a skin system, V-loops really offer a different look than say our knotted system. V-loops, the hair is V-looped into the actual base itself, which give it that really natural from the scalp look. These are really great systems for individuals who want a very natural look with their hair and with their hairline. The thinner the system, the more natural it looks at the front. If any of you have seen our lovely Rick, he wears a skin-based system. He wears HD111. Again, we have different variances of these. With a system like this, with this thicker systems, you can definitely add glue or tape. But with the really thin ones, you want to kind of stick to just the glue because kind of putting a tape on this material, if it's really thin, when you're trying to peel it off, it could rip the system, as they can rip very easily if they're a thinner base. When you're wearing a system like this, it can get hot if you're not gluing the whole thing down. So I always tell people, you know, when you're wearing a skin-based system, if you have it on and there's that space in between your skin and the base of the system, the heat from your head is rising, hitting the top of the skin, coming back down, making it a little bit more hot. But if you glue that down, it's straight down. There's nowhere for that heat to kind of come up from the head. So really it feels just like wearing a piece of clothing against your skin. It's really, a lot of gentlemen tell me that skin-based systems really feel like their own skin once they're glued down completely. So that is an option. You don't have to worry about it being breathable. Skin systems don't have to breathe. Any system doesn't actually have to breathe. Yes, some people want to feel that airflow through the system, and that's fine. We have other options. But don't think that, you know, you're going to have any issues, medical issues or anything like that. If you glue a piece down and leave that on for weeks at a time, nothing bad is going to happen. So that's a skin-based system. Now, another great thing about skin-based systems is we can really customize these almost to any size. So we can create a different kind of hairline, we can make it a little thinner, we can have any kind of shape to this system, and it's going to work for pretty much almost any individual depending on their hair loss situation. So for example, if you have very small area, you know, side to side, but very long front to back, we can customize a skin-based system to fit that area exactly for you. So that is one of the benefits of the thin skin. Again, very natural looking. When you're getting into the thinner skins, they're not as durable. They're the least durable of the systems, but this one here, like I said, Jeremy is wearing on the video. This one is kind of like brand new, so it actually has a good durability to it, and it is very natural and thin at the same time, so it's like the best of all worlds. So that is our skin. Then we have, I'm gonna skip this one, I'm gonna come over to this end here. So now we're gonna talk about all lace. So we have our all lace system. This one here is our Swiss lace system, the M1, it's the 115. So it's the M115. So we have the M115 here. So Swiss lace, French lace. Some people like to ask what the difference is between the two. Swiss lace has a tendency of being a little bit softer. It's not as rough. However, the Swiss lace systems have a less density on them than our French lace. And they're a little less durable. Now, not much, it's almost negligible on how much less it's gonna be, but sometimes people find they do fray a little easier, or they're not as durable as, say, the French lace. But again, I find it very, very negligible on how much that is. So why would you want a beautiful Swiss or French lace system? These systems are gonna be really good also for individuals who wanna customize down to maybe an odd size, maybe an odd shape. You can go long and skinny with these, or short and fat, or more round. We can customize these systems to pretty much work for anybody. It is a knotted system, but it takes on the color of your skin underneath. So if you can see here, you can see the skin color underneath the system. So it is gonna be very natural looking on that scalp. It's also going to be very breathable. So if that is a thing for you, you want to be able to feel like, say, the water on your head when you're washing your hair system, this would definitely be an option for you in that manner. It is very natural looking, but I would say it's not as natural as, say, an HD or an M111. A little less, but not much. Now, how would you attach a system like this? Well, you could go in with tape, you could go in with tape and glue, or you could go in with glue, but only Ghost Bond. And if we were doing something like that, we would have to put the glue on the skin first, let it dry, and then place the system over top. You don't want to actually apply any kind of glue to just the base. You'll have a sticky mess, it'll be all over the place, and that'll be a very big disaster. So you want to make sure that with this actual system itself, you are only applying tape to, say, the perimeter, and then maybe applying a little bit of glue over top of that tape if you want some extra hold. But again, if you have an odd shaped area, or you have a very, smaller side to side, long front to back, something that you can't find a size in any of these other systems, all lace system is definitely the way to go. And again, we have French lace and Swiss lace, and this is the Swiss lace here. All right, so next on my list, we're gonna go for the skin crossover. So I'm gonna come back over here. So this is my 158. So 158, really great system. This is kind of the best of both of those worlds because it has my little windows of lace in the middle. So it gives you the durability of the skin, plus it gives you that breathability of the lace. So it's a really great system. I have a friend of mine, he wears this system and he absolutely loves it. He always goes on and on about how great this system is. And it really is. And the great thing is too, you have a good amount of area on this system to customize to different sizes. So you've got that space within the actual, outside perimeter to customize to different sizes for you. If you have maybe a little bit skinnier and longer, you can customize a little bit more with this piece. But again, it gives you that breathability. You could use glue with this, you could use tape and glue, you could use just tape. So it is a very versatile system. I don't think it's enough good credit out there as other systems, but it's definitely a system you can look at if you're not too sure on what you want to do. You know, maybe you want the benefit of a skin system, but you want the breathability of a lace. This is a system that could definitely be an option for you. So that is the 158. Okay, now we're going to go into, I guess, one of the more popular systems are mono systems. So a lot of times individuals want systems that are going to really give them that longevity, and this is the system that most people are going to reach for longevity. So this is a mono system. So mono systems have the monofilament, which is a tightly woven lace in the middle, and then we have the poly perimeter. With this one specifically, this mono system, we have some lace at the actual top. So this system's very durable. Like, this one is going to last you a good amount of time. You're gonna get some good wear out of it. The density in this system is a lot more dense. So we're looking at 120%. What does that mean? I mean, I have some people go, well, what does 120% mean? I like to explain 120% as, if somebody were to say the average head of hair on someone who has not lost any hair, what is an average density of hair? Is 120%. That is like someone who mid-age hasn't lost any hair, 120%. That's what 120% to me looks like. So if you're looking then to go thinner from that, that's a good indication of what 120% of hair was going to look like for an individual. The really great thing when you're looking at any of our systems is that these all can be customized. When we're cutting these systems in, we can thin them out, we can texturize them, we can make them match. But this is also why having a consultation, either in person or Zoom, is a really great way to get a very specific system just for you, to get the exact system that might work for you. But this is your basic information of what you might be veering towards one way or another. So again, mono systems, we have a few of them. We have some mono systems that do not have the lace at the front. We have some mono systems that are a little larger than this one. And we also have one of our newer mono systems, which is the M100N, I believe it is, which is our narrow system, which is going to really give you the same benefit as this system, but it's got a lot more of a narrow length from side to side. So for the individuals that say want a very good durable system, maybe don't want to customize a skin or a lace, you could try that system, which would definitely help with, you know, individuals who have that thinning area, but smaller from side to side. So that is your mono system. And again, you can go in with, ideally these are usually used with tape and glue or just tape. You do not want to glue this middle area at all. No matter what, don't glue it. Number one, if you do glue it, you are going to get glue because it's such a tightly woven material. Once it gets in there, because what happens is the glue starts to warm up, it starts to get a little bit more liquefied and gummy, it will seep into that actual monolaced area and you're not getting it out. It's going to be a pain. It starts making the base feel gooey. It's just very much impossible to clean. So with a piece like this, you want to stay to just that perimeter. You don't want to go in the middle whatsoever. You want to keep away from that with any kind of glues or tapes. But that is our monos systems. And again, guys, just want to reiterate, we have a lot of versions of all of these. So it's not like we just have these ones. There's various sizes, there's various, various ways they're made. It could be size, it could be the material slightly different, the density slightly different. So we're just going over the basic types of systems out there right now. You can always go and look on superhairpieces.com and take a look at our plethora of systems we have out there. If you go onto the website and you go under new products, I believe, you can see all of our new products that we have also. So it always keeps you up to date on what we have coming out, which is really great. So one of my favorite systems is this one here, which is the M106. So this is a front lace system. Now, this is French lace. So we've got the French lace here. I've got the poly from, so it kind of goes perimeter to perimeter. This system here is really great for those individuals that want some durability. They want that system that's going to hold its shape, and they want that naturality, especially at the front, plus breathability. So you're getting a little bit of everything with this system. It's really nice. It works, the density works for a lot of gentlemen, because I believe, you know, most individuals who are coming in, by the time they're getting to that point where they're losing their hair, you know, the side hair is a little bit thinner. They want something that's going to blend in nicely with the top and the side hairs in the back and have a nice density throughout. These systems really do that for clients. You can get, you know, you have a little bit of versatility with what kind of hairstyle you're looking for, whether you're looking for something that's more off the face, an exposed hairline, looking for forward, side part, however, whatever you're looking for, these systems actually look great doing them. So this is one of my favorites, I think, just because more of the versatility. Now, that's not to say it's for everyone, but again, it is a really great system to use. Breathability is there. Now you can go in and use tape and glue. You could go in and use glue on this because the lace is breathable enough and holdy enough that you could clean it afterwards. So if you wanted to go in and put all glue and stick it on, you could do that, but it would only be good with Ghost Bond. So not Ultra Hold. I'm just going to quickly show the difference here. We got a Ghost Bond. We've got an Ultra Hold. While we're talking about it here. Okay, so the difference. Ghost Bond, white glue. Ultra Hold, clear glue. Clear glue is not going to dry completely. It always has that tacky gooiness to it. This kind of glue, if you're using this on any system, you want to make sure it's either one, on a skin base. Any skin base, if you use it just on the skin, that is fine. If you're going to use it with any lace system, it has to be used as an additive on top of the tape only. You don't want to just put this on and then put lace on top of that. It will come right through the lace almost immediately. It's going to make your system gooey. So this is not the glue you want to use if you're using an all lace system or you're using it to put down a lace system, unless you're doing it on top of tape first. If you're looking to put down a lace system, Ghost Bond is a really great product because this one dries completely. So when you put it on, you put on a layer, it dries completely. You put on another layer, it dries completely. Then you can, it has like a tack to it, but then you push that system onto the actual Ghost Bond itself, which then helps the Ghost Bond adhere to the lace. So if you were using a Ghost Bond with any kind of lace system, again, we don't put the Ghost Bond on the system. Nope. We only put the Ghost Bond on our skin, let it dry, and then just place the system on top. But with a lace system like this, the Swiss lace or the French lace is definitely a great option. If you want a seamless hairline, almost, and I'm saying almost as good as the really thin skin, then doing Ghost Bond with a French lace or Swiss lace system, beautiful. So that is the M106. Again, this is the lace front system. Great option if you're wanting something natural, still some durability and versatility with this system. Then we have our 159. So this is like a lace skin product also. This one here, for example, has the skin at the front, lace in the middle, and I believe it's like a thin poly at the back. So this system here is another option that you could have. Again, it's giving you that really good breathability with the lace in the middle. So I always like to say it's like a very breathable version of the M104, because you've got that French lace in the middle rather than the mono. Mono is still breathable, but not as much as lace because it is very tightly woven, so it's a little bit warmer. Versus the lace is going to be a little bit, you know, more open holes, more breathability, so it's going to make it for a little bit more of a breathable system. So it is a great option, and again, it's depending on what you're looking for. It's really hard sometimes when you're coming in. I know you see all of these lovely pieces, and I get told all the time, wow, I go online, I see all these pieces, and I have no clue which one to pick. That's what a lovely consultation is for, because we can definitely go through that information with you and see what would be the best option for you when you're looking to pick a piece, and then going forward from there. So what are some of the questions? Just because people always say, well, you know, how do I know which one to pick? First off, if you are, just say you don't want a consultation, you want to kind of figure it out on your own. I get that. Some people just want to try to go through the process themselves. The first thing I would do is figure out what your size is. So you would need to know what your front to back, side to side measurement would be of where you want to cover. Now, how do you know where to cover? Well, you want to keep as much of your own good hair as possible. So if you say, for example, are like only got a small spot from side to side, but it's long front to back, that's what you're going to measure, only measuring the area that you're actually losing a lot of hair. If you still have good hair growing there, we don't want to shave that off. If you shave that off, you're going to get itchy way too fast. You're always going to have to change it. So you want to just remove the hair that's really kind of died down, that really thin, fine hair. Okay, so that's where we're going to measure. We're going to measure that area right there. Then you're going to go front to back. Once you get your sizing, you can look on our website and you can start to see the sizes of the pieces and what they can be actually cut down or customized to. And you want to make sure that what you need to cover and what they're going to be customized to are the same. If it's too big, then you're going to have to shave more of your hair, and then we're back to square one. If you can't find it, by all means, and you need help, that is when you definitely can give us a call, or come on in to see us, and we can definitely help you with a consultation and kind of go from there, because that's really what we're here to do. We're here to help you find the best system for you, because when you walk out of the door happy with hair and you look great, that's really what makes us happy in the end. Other than that, when it comes down to material, you can really just look online, watch some videos. There's a lot of influencers out there that have their opinions on what's worked the best for them. I always tell people, hey, watch as much stuff as you can. Get yourself educated on what you're looking for. They're the ones that wear these systems. So it's really good to hear their feedback. I can tell you till the cows come home which one's my favorite, but I don't wear a system. So I'm not wearing it on my head. So really in the end, watching videos is a really great way to kind of educate yourself, get some feedback from other people. I'm not saying their word is God by any means, but at the same time, you could get some different opinions from different people to see what they prefer and why. And, that might resonate with you or what you're looking for. But again, if you do need more information, feel free to contact us, and then we can kind of go from there. So I'm going to do my favorite part and open up for questions, because I like questions. So is the V-loop better? It's a good question. Is V-loop better? In what aspect are we referring to? Is it better? Is it more natural looking? Yes, definitely. I think it's definitely more natural looking. The hair looks like it's coming straight from the head versus the actual little knots. But then I always say to people, no one is looking at your head like this. We're always so worried about how natural it's going to be. And, unless you're hiding it from someone you're living with who's going to look at your head constantly. Nobody looks at your head that close, but really it's about preference. Again, some people really like that idea of the V-loops and it looking natural and it looking like the hair is coming out from your head. So it does have that aspect. Now, that being said, I do want to reiterate with V-loops versus with knots in lace systems, the initial trying to train the hair is a little bit more difficult because that V-loop is in a certain way. It's really not moving. So it takes a little bit more to train that hair versus with knots. With the knots themselves, you can maneuver that hair a lot easier to kind of get it to sit the way you want it and actually style the way you want it fairly quickly versus with the V-loops. I do find it's a little bit more difficult to train the hair right off the bat. Not to say it's impossible, it can be done, but that's my experience with the actual styling of the systems. Next. Rick is now wearing the 101V. Yes, he is. Yes. Lovely work he does. He likes to change things up with us, so it's really great. But yeah, he's really enjoying it. So that's a great thing for him. It's a great system. We've been selling quite a few of them. People are really enjoying them just because they are still really natural looking, but at the same time they have a little bit more durability. So you know, you can get a little longer out of the piece themselves, which is really nice. I mean, who doesn't want, you know, the best of both worlds, durability and naturality at the same time? You can, okay, so this is the kicker with skin-based systems. If you're going with the HD 111 and the M111, my rule of thumb is no. You don't want to go in with tape with those. You want to stick strictly with glue. They're so thin. You run the risk of, when you're taking off the tape, of ripping the system. Even with the 101V, you have to be very, very careful. I know when I'm cleaning a system, if they're wearing the 101V and they have tape, it makes me nervous. You can see the stretch in the skin. Like, you have to be very cautious. If I were to put, say for example, Ultra Hold on this piece, and then I'm trying to clean this, it could rip really easily if I'm trying to rip that off to clean it. I really have to soak it, make sure that tape has been soaking a long time. I usually tell people if they're gonna go in and use a tape, that's actually one thing I'm gonna say. A good tape to use on this would be the Extendibond. So we have the Extendibond tape just because that is technically a solid glue. So Extendibond is not really a tape. It goes on like a tape, but it actually breaks down like a glue. So cleaning it would be more like a glue versus a tape. So that would be maybe a suggestion if you're wanting to use tape on the really thin skins. Next question. Nick B, which base for a tropical, good question. Again, it's really about preference. I have people who wear skin-based systems in hot weather, tropical weather, where it's still hot and humid. When you're gluing the whole thing down, you really don't notice it. You sweat everywhere else. You'll sweat on your forehead, your neck, you know. You're not going to sweat underneath, and if you do, it's just really going to get reabsorbed. But most people, from my experience, they prefer a lace system. So if you're looking in a tropical area, it's really hot and humid, you know, maybe you like that feel of cold water, cool water, having a shower, making sure you cool down on your actual scalp. If that is something that you really do prefer, then definitely going in with any of our lace systems is going to be a better option for you. Do you recommend trying different systems or sticking with just one? Honestly, I definitely recommend trying different systems. Number one, I definitely recommend trying different systems. I also think a very important thing is making sure you have two, not just one, two. Having two systems is going to give you, it's just going to save you a lot of headache later on if something were to happen. to your system when you're wearing it. Having a backup system is always ideal, but also trying different systems. If you found something you love, I am not someone to say, hey, try something new. Sometimes if it's not broke, don't fix it. But if you're like, you know, you're still on the fence whether you love the system or not, try something else. Especially if you're brand new, it's good to have a couple different options. Maybe try a skin base, maybe then go to a lace. See what you prefer, because honestly, it's a system you're gonna need a new one eventually. So to try something new every now and then, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And then you'll know when you found that system, the one that you love more than anything. And then when you found that one, make sure you have two of them, because I hear horror stories all the time. People go on vacation, they fall, they rip their system because they're drinking too much. You know, I've had people light their barbecue and singe their hair. So it's always good to have a backup system. You never know what's going to happen in life. And it's always good to have one just in case. Next question, Milton. I work in the construction and I wear a hard hat 8 to 5 days. Okay, is there a problem with that? Not usually, no. I have a lot of gentlemen that wear hard hats, that wear different, you know, depending on what they do for a job. I believe Rick rides a motorbike, so he's wearing, you know, a helmet on his. He's had no issues at all. And that was with the HD111, which is the really thin skin. He's had no issues with that. So no, wearing any kind of helmet or hat should not be an issue. The only thing I feel issues with any hats from what I've ever seen has been the way people take off their hats, not necessarily put them on, but how they take them off or anything. Sometimes you have people, they lift the hat off that way, which then the rim of the hat is going to hit the system, which then could lift it. But other than doing it that way, no, you shouldn't have any issues with wearing hats or any hard hats when you're wearing a hairpiece. Can I ask, what is the difference between glue and tape on a skin system? Yes, so if you're doing glue, so if I'm taping the system, most people when they tape a system, they just tape around the perimeter and then they put the piece on their head. And what happens in that kind of situation, like I was saying before, is there's that little bit of space between your system and your head, which then makes it actually a little warmer. So the hair, it gets a little hotter underneath. Plus you also, you get a noise. I don't know if you can hear it. It kind of has a noise to it because it's not glued down, which to me, your head shouldn't make that noise. So it seems a little unnatural. I'm not a fan of that noise. If it doesn't bother you, that's great. But I feel like if you glue the whole piece down, or if you want to just use tape, you can tape the whole system, or even tape down the middle and make a T and then around the perimeter. You could do that also. I just feel glue is just easier for skin-based systems. I think it's easier to put it on when you're done. Once you get the hang of it, it's easier to kind of clean it off, and you're just maintaining the integrity of the system rather than that tape pulling at that perimeter constantly. To me, it's just a better option to use glue, if you can, if it is an option for you to use glue. Can I book online consult instead of coming in? Oh, of course you can. As much as I would love to come in person consult, it's long flight from Vancouver. Yeah. Also, can you please open a location in Vancouver? Yeah, I would love to. Maybe one day. I can't promise anything. That would be the big boss's idea. But yes, you can definitely book an online consult. We'd be more than happy to talk to you and help you pick the perfect system. And yeah, you definitely don't have to take a flight all the way here to talk to us in person. We'd be more than happy to definitely help you out with an online consult. So we do have them. I believe they are in. Oh, we'll send a link. We'll put a link. You'll see the link. There you go. That's why I have my lovely helpers over there. All right, next question. I need some water. Yes, V-loops are more sensitive to wet brushing. So because it's not knotted, it's this literally V-looped. It's in and it's out. When you actually get a hair system wet, the actual skin expands. So then where the V-loop in, it's more sensitive to brushing when it's wet. So it can come out a lot easier when it's wet. What I usually tell people is, number one, if say you just came out of the shower, rather than going in with a brush and start brushing it, towel dry it a little bit. Let that base dry a little bit first, then go in and start to style it once it's kind of dry. Or you could literally go in and dry the base a little bit before starting to brush it out too much. Just don't go in and really start brushing that hair too much when you first get it wet, because yeah, that is when it is a little bit more sensitive. So yes, you are correct. That's why the longevity of these aren't as high as say with the knotted systems. How blended would a pre-cut be? Do they razor cut? No, we do not razor cut the sides. So pre-cut systems, based on what you're looking for when they are done. So say you give us your measurements of what you're looking for. We go in and we do the whole cut. So we'll go in and we'll cut the length to the desired length, and your interior and the back, everything is done. Then they go in and we actually will thin out the sides at the bottom to kind of wisp them out a little bit to make it a little easier to blend out. However, is it as nice as getting it done in person? Not at the moment. Still coming to a person is still the best idea, but they are pretty good. We do have clients that do get our pre-cut systems and they're more than happy with the way they look. I always explain to people, having more of your own hair to blend in is ideal, especially if you don't have someone who's going to cut it for you. You could also possibly find a stylist in your area that can help you even blend it a little bit more. But we do not go in with a razor. We go in with thinning shears on the sides. So we thin them out to kind of wisp them out. We don't actually do razors, just because razors will actually cut the hair at an angle, which in the end starts to make it look very frizzy once it gets a little bit too old. So you don't want to actually do razor cuts on those sides to blend it out. But hopefully you could look at our online pre-cuts and see if something size-wise or length-wise would work for you with what we have, or you can send in specific measurements if you have measurements yourself that you're looking for. Personally, M111 XT, I changed it 5-6 weeks. Just wondering about anything I can do to hold the color longer, and the last 1 to 2 weeks of the hair falls out. Well, yeah, so the M111 XT, so that's the extra thin, if anybody wants to know. So that's our really thin base with thin density also. Making the color last longer, I don't know if you're using any protectants. I don't know where you are. If you're somewhere where it's like sunny and you're out in the sun a lot, these hairs are processed. So basically what happens is it's processed to get these colors. So these aren't natural colors. It's natural hair, not natural colors. So they will fade out. So you do have to watch with, number one, what kind of shampoo conditioner you're using. If you're using anything harsh, it will strip out the color faster. I always say maybe use a color safe shampoo and conditioner. You also, if you can get a UV protectant to put into your hair if you're out in the sun, that would be ideal also. I don't know what color you are. Sometimes people who get lighter colors, their hair fades faster. So that might be one of the issues. I don't know if that is the issue with you. But yeah, you definitely want to make sure you use a protectant, maybe a hat if you're out in the sun. Try to avoid being directly in the sunlight. That's definitely going to keep your hair color from fading. I know because mine fades when I'm out in the sun, and yeah. So I do know you have to do all the things to keep the hair looking fresh and new. And if it is, I know you're saying it thins out too much, I believe, in the last week or two. Have you thought about maybe moving to the M111 where it's a little bit more dense? You might get a little longevity out of that piece versus the XT. That might be an option for you also if you're wanting it to last a little bit longer for the density aspect of it. Is it true that skin-based systems under fluorescent lights give a plastic bag look if someone is looking down on top? Wow, I haven't heard that one before. I'm not gonna lie, that is the first time I've heard that. Plastic bag look, eh? I don't think so. I have not heard that. But then again, this, like I said, I'm going to watch out for that. No one I have had any experience with any of my clients that wear skin systems, they have told me that ever. So this is the first time I have heard that. Now, that being said, I do have, I'm going to talk about my favorite product. Do I have one? Oh, yes. Ghost Bond Supreme. I swear I talk about this on every live. I should be not sponsored. So Ghost Bond Supreme. This one here, I don't know if this would make a difference, but this one is actually made to be under like lights, cameras, all that kind of stuff. So the Ghost Bond Supreme has a kind of like, it's more of a matted base to it. It has a certain coloring to it also, so it actually doesn't show as much or look as shiny. Again, it is used on skin-based systems. So if you were really worried, I would then go to this one versus any of the other ones, because this one was supposed to be made for being under the lights and cameras and all that fun stuff. But yeah, having it look plastic baggish, I have not heard that. So I'm gonna say no, that is not a situation. But again, you obviously heard that somewhere. So thank you for bringing that up, and I'm gonna start paying attention a little bit more. Next question. I live in Thailand, but visiting the States soon. Do you have different salon locations in the US applying anything out west? No locations at this moment. Our warehouse is in Florida right now, but we do not have, at this moment, we don't have any salons per se. That's hopefully changing soon, I believe. But as of right now, nothing. I apologize. But you can always look up hair replacement salons for the area you're planning on visiting and seeing if you can find anything, or just come over here to Canada. Is it better? It is better and much more comfortable to glue the whole surface. Yes, it is. I think it's definitely better to glue the whole surface than just around the perimeter. I feel you're going to get a better adhesion to the actual piece. From the individuals I talk to, all my clients that wear hair pieces with glue, like I said, they're always like, oh wow, you can't even tell it's there. It's almost like it's your own skin. That is the feeling when you're gluing the whole thing down. Versus taping it, you kind of feel it a little bit more, especially if it's not all taped down. So the glue is definitely going to give it that more seamless feel. That's not to say that's not to say glue is for everyone. I always like to reiterate, yes, it might be my favorite product, but it doesn't necessarily work on everyone, unfortunately. There are people, sometimes Ghost Bond just doesn't adhere to. So again, Rick likes, when he uses his systems, he uses the Ultra Hold. Ultra Hold does not last as long as the Ghost Bond though, however. Ghost Bond's gonna last longer, but if Ghost Bond doesn't last for you at all, then definitely you can try using the Ultra Hold or the Extreme Hold. So there are different products you can definitely try to see which one is the best option for you for holding down your system. It's just a warehouse. At this moment, we don't have a stylist that's doing in-person stylist doing anything there. No, sorry. And what style system would you recommend if you have an active lifestyle, including underwater sports? Wow. So are you snorkeling, or are you just doing a lot of swimming? That's really kind of my next question. It's not about the system at that time. It's really about the adhesion. You want to make sure you're wearing a really good, you want to find the best adhesive for you. And when I say that, is that there's general adhesives that are good, and great, but that doesn't mean every glue or tape works for every single person. So there is a little bit of a learning curve when you're first starting off. Every one of my clients, when we're first starting off with the system, we start with, what usually works, because every individual is going to be different. So I get a little bit of their lifestyle. If they sweat a lot, what they're doing. If I'm going in with a lace system and, they're wanting the most natural looking hairstyle, and they want to use Ghost Bond, then that's what I'm going to go with. Now, if they're going to be really active, they're skydiving or they're doing something really crazy, I would go with something a little stronger, not as natural looking, say like the Ultra Hold tape with maybe some extra glue, if that be the case. But again, it's about kind of trying things out to see what adhesive is going to work for you best. I know we have a lot of them out there, and if you're getting 2-3 weeks out of an adhesive, that's really good. Could you get more? You possibly could get more. If you have a lot of hair under your system, you're not going to get more. If you have, if you're very active and yes, you are swimming and it's getting wet for a prolonged period of time, you might not last as long. The key to any adhesive on a system is you want to wait that 24 to 48 hours before doing any kind of water sports or getting it wet. You don't want to be jumping into water after you just put it on. You need to give it time to cure, and that is for glue and tapes and glue and tapes. If you're doing anything, you want to wait that 24 to 48 hours no matter what. You got to give it time to heat up on the skin and adhere, kind of like really get on there before going in and doing any kind of water sports. But yeah, I would definitely try something a little stronger for yourself, maybe the Ultra Hold tape. We also have our signature tape. Those ones both work really well, and you could get some good longevity out of those. However, you might notice after you've had a day of water sports, something you might have to do a service, or you might have to touch up the glue. It all depends. I mean, everybody's a little bit different. Full lace system. So that would be a full lace system right here. So this is a full lace system, guys. This is my Swiss lace. So if you can see on here, there is essentially like no kind of poly or anything else on the system at all. So that's a full lace system. And then you can see here, it's kind of taking on the color of my skin well, it's not kind of, it is taking on the color of my skin underneath. They're actually really, really nice. So this is the lace one, which is a really great system. I like the Swiss lace one. It's very nice. Looks very natural. What's the longest wear system will last the longest? M102, M108 are probably going to last you the longest. I don't have one here, but those are in our mono lines. So the ones with the mono and the poly perimeter. So these systems here, any of our mono lines are going to be the most durable systems for you when you are looking for a system. And again, the mono, like if you're looking, the M108 and 102, they're going to have like thicker poly, so they're not as nice looking. If you're going to go with a mono system, the 104, the 109, those are really great systems. You get that little bit of natural look with the lace at the front. Those are more towards what I would kind of steer people, just because you're going to still get that little bit of natural look. But again, you're going to get that really good durability. So yeah, if you go on our website, you look at any of the mono systems, those are where you kind of want to go if durability is your main key for a hairpiece. Currently you have 115, 100% density. Is that okay that every day you take a shower? Because I do too much sweat during work. Yeah, you can definitely take a shower every day. That's not a problem. Are you washing it every day? If you're washing it every day, you might not want to wash it every day. That's going to dry out the hair a little bit too fast. The thing is with hair systems is we don't have our natural oils going through those hairs. So what ends up happening, it will dry out if you are constantly using a shampoo. A shampoo is there to take out the oil. If you're sweating though, you really feel like you need to wash it. Yeah, just be gentle when you are washing it, because that will actually, you know, it's just going to have the effect on the piece. The more you wash and kind of do things to it, yeah, the faster you're going to go through that system. So that's just one thing to kind of take into consideration. If you're going to wash it more often, it's not going to last you as long. Number one, the hairs might loosen up too fast. Number two, you're going to dry out that hair. So just also make sure if you're going to wash it, you're using a really good conditioner and a really good leave-in also. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. You can tan in a tanning bed. Now, that being said, the tanning bed lights might actually lighten your hair system also. So just keep that in mind, that the UV lights could honestly lighten the hair system. But hey, yeah, tan away. You're good. It won't affect the system other than maybe lightening the hair. How can one get rid of the leftover knots at the hairline after hair shed? Leftover hair knots after hair sheds. Are you talking about like when the hair starts to kind of come out? You can trim that lace a little bit to kind of give it back to its fullness. I think that's what you're referring to. I apologize if it's not. So sometimes what happens, if I'm correct, as the hair starts to thin out a little bit, you know, it looks a little empty at that front hairline. You can trim the lace a little bit just to kind of give it more fullness again, if that's what you're referring to. I don't know. Or are you talking about bleached knots? Wanting to not see the knots? If it's about not seeing the knots at the front hairline, we do have bleach front hair systems where we bleach the knots so those knots are invisible at the very front hairline. That might be, if that's what you're referring to. I tried Stop Shine on the hairline and still the observer in some angles will see the shine on the hairline. Well, not every product works perfectly, unfortunately. Are you using it with glue or tape? That's my next question. What tape are you using? Are you using No Shine tape? And if you're using glue, what glue are you using? If you're using it with glue, might want to try, dun, 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 my favorite, the Supreme, which would definitely help with that shine. Supreme is actually made to be less shiny under the lights. I don't know if that helps at all. If not, you can have a follow-up question. Are there any systems that are blonde and curly? If so, how good or well does a curl hold up in styling? Blonde and curly. I think that's something you would have to order custom. The only reason I'm saying that is because number one, you cannot really perm a blonde hair once it's been bleached out to that degree and then you curl it, it's going to look horrible. So it would be something that would have to be done, I believe, custom made so that they can do it where they're not going to damage that hair. The chemicals that we would use here in a salon, like if I go in and try to perm a blonde or a bleached out hair piece, it will literally just, the hair will break off. It'll look frizzy and horrible. So something like that you might have to custom order. We have 20? 20 and 22 mm. In the M104. No, but what color? Do we have blonde though? 20. Oh, 20. We have color 20? Okay, so we have color 20 already in the M104, right? Okay, so we have in the M104, so this one here, we have a color 20, which I don't have here to show you, but we have a color 20 in a 22, you said? 22 mm. So 22 millimeter curl. So if you want to look, your best place to look would be to go onto our website and look at the perms And then in the column, it'll show you the colors, and then you can at least see the colors and what kind of curl they have. So those are already pre-done in the factory, so that would be a possible option for you if it happens to work for you for the color and the curl pattern that you're looking for. Hey, Chris. So Chris says, I glue the whole thing. It feels very natural, and after 5 minutes, you don't realize you're wearing a hair system. Thanks for the feedback, Chris. It's always great to hear from people who are wearing systems. So yeah, that's a general feedback with individuals who are gluing down their hair systems is really they don't even remember they're wearing a hair piece. So I think that's why a lot of guys that do glue them, once you realize what it feels like once you glue it, they kind of stick to it. It's like they don't go back. I have had guys that I have I don't want to say convinced, but suggested, hey, why don't we try glue this time? Just try it once, see how you like it. They've tried it, they've never gone back to going to tape. So. Mm-hmm. Oh, with the lights, ultra hold, and then the perimeter and ultra hold. Okay, so he's using ultra. Do we know what system though? If you're using ultra hold, and I'm assuming it's a skin base. If it's a skin base, then maybe try the Ghost Bond, because the Ultra Hold might be too shiny. It is a pretty shiny product. If you're seeing that shine underneath, maybe try the Ghost Bond product. See if that gets rid of the shine for you. Yeah. So definitely try the Ghost Bond. Get a small bottle, see if that works, because I know that this one is made for under lights, so it's made to actually look less shiny and less visible, and that's supposed to be with a lace system. So if it's supposed to make it less shiny with a lace system, I'm assuming it's going to make it less shiny with a skin base. Maybe try that and see how that works. Jay, it helps, if it helps answer the other guy's question, I just put a UV light on my HD111 and it does not fluorescent at all. It has zero reaction to the IR light. Oh, great. Thank you. Appreciate that, Jay. I appreciate you giving us that answer. So there you go. Yeah. So we don't have to worry about skin bases and fluorescent lights. The edge of my HD lamp does show a line under light. That is my biggest complaint. There are some matting agents to use along with the edge diffuser light, but I haven't found a perfect product yet. Well, I mean, that's good to know. But yeah, I mean, at least, again, I always say, guys, listen, if there was a perfect product out there, we wouldn't have a million different ones. Because, I mean, you're going to find the one that works the best for you. Everybody has different scenarios, different needs and wants and requirements. So, it's really great that we have such a great variety, so we can really find something that's going to work for each individual, and a lot of great products, and we're always finding more products and testing out more products and seeing what works. The great thing with Super Hair Pieces is we have a plethora of stylists that we are always giving products that, hey, like, try out this and try out that and try out this. So we actually try these products out ourselves on our clients, which is great. So we have firsthand experience on how these products work, if they work, how we like them. And the thing is, some clients they might work for, some they don't. Everybody is different. Our chemistry is different to each product. So, it is something that sometimes it's a hit and miss, and you got to find out what works best for you. But I love these lights because I really do love that, we have a plethora of individuals that talk amongst themselves and give each other tips, because, it's the guys that are wearing these pieces that really know the most tips and tricks. That's all I have to say. Because they're wearing them. So it's really great to get this feedback from everybody. Any more questions? I'm 2 months into my first system. I always feel the sides lifting after a week. Should I switch to a thinner base? Interesting. Now, your first system, you're feeling the sides are lifting after a week. Is this on top of, do you have a lot of hair underneath that system? Like, is there hair in that area? Reasons for a system to lift on the sides, you actually have hair growing underneath there still. Maybe the system was made too big, covering your own hair a little bit too much. Sometimes once that hair starts to grow, it lifts very quickly. You could have an issue when you're sleeping. Some people are very big toss and turners, and that's what's lifting the hair system. I don't know what your activity level is like, but usually silk pillowcases are really great because it's going to have your hair slip and slide around rather than it being rough and moving that hair system around. But yeah, I would try to see how it is on the sides, like what products are you using? Is there a lot of hair growing underneath? These are things that kind of, because usually it's not the sides that lift, usually it's the front or the back. So if it's lifting on the sides, is it overlapping on your own hair? That might be another issue. If it's not where the hair is shaved, but it's overlapping, then sometimes that's not going to stick as well, and it's going to lift because there's nothing to really stick to. That could be another situation. So we have, oh, sorry that time. So apparently I have a lot of questions, but we have run out of time for this one. So I do apologize if I have not gotten to your questions today, guys. We will be back in, I know, another month. And so next month, April, do we have a date? April. I think it's around April 5th, is it not? Give me a second, I'll let you know. It's the Wednesday, first Wednesday in April. April 2nd, I will be back. So after April Fools. After April Fools, I will be back and we can definitely answer more questions. But hey guys, feel free, if at any point in time, book a consultation, call our customer support. More than happy to answer any of your questions, guys. It's been great. Send us, an email. It's been a pleasure, like always, and I will definitely see you guys next time. Have yourselves a great evening, and ciao for now. Retro beats and timeless parade.